Hello everybody, my name is JC and welcome to my YouTube channel. So in this YouTube video, we're going to do a budgeting 101 type of situation. I feel like it's very important for people to understand their finances. A lot of times the YouTube gurus skip and focus more so on investing instead of just the basic necessities that people often are still developing. Are you sick of sitting on the edge waiting for your next paycheck? Feel like your paycheck comes, the next thing you know is left your pocket? That is a feeling that a lot of Americans do have, about 65% of them. And honestly, if you're here, you're most likely broke. I'm not trying to be rude, I'm not trying to be negative, I'm just being honest. More than likely, if you're watching this video, you're broke. As you know, you're not alone. Many people face the same type of issues as you do and are coming here to try to see how can they get a leg up and develop their financial literacy. Especially how we are politically and economically, it makes it kind of difficult to see a light at the end of the tunnel. My goal for this video is for you to have a basic understanding of how and what to do to save money and build your financial literacy. It's not always super necessary to complicate things when it comes to your finances. I know a lot of others talk about different ratios and different percentages and put figures into it, which I think is important. But what most important is to make sure you have those foundations first and foremost. A lot of time what is needed to increase the money that's in your pocket is to see where that money goes. Because a lot of times there's a lot of different recurring fees, subscriptions, and just charges that we often don't pay attention to that drain our bank account. In this video, I'll show you exactly what you need to do to track your expenses, set up a simple budget, and save more money. I'm not saying simple means easy, but it will put you on a course for financial excellence. Just so you can get to know a little bit about me, who I am, and a little bit about my page. I'm your banker buddy, JC. I'm here to come to you every week to give you information about what I'm learning, what I'm interested in, which is finances. I'm currently on this journey with you to financial success and financial independence. And that's why I kind of made this YouTube channel, just to show everything what I'm learning, what I'm researching, and what makes me happy. I don't claim to know everything, but I am a forever student, and research is what I do. I love researching, I love learning new things. I love when you engage with me and give me new topics to look up to talk about, because those are things I'm very interested in. I make videos on what I love and like, which is finance. I wish to build my own financial knowledge and help others. Just to reiterate, tracking is very important. You have to understand what's coming out and what is coming into your account. Tracking equals awareness, and awareness equals control. I know if you've heard of the phrase out of sight, out of mind. And it's a phrase for a reason, because it's true. Put that same phrase in the context of your money. Most people don't really use cash anymore, and some businesses have gone so far as that they don't really accept cash payments. Cards and tap only have made it more so a game with using your money. The digital age and subscription culture has made it a lot easier to misplace your money. A common problem when people don't track their finances is that they often misplace their money, lose track of it, and overspend. That leads them to living paycheck to paycheck and waiting on the edge of their seats for their next paycheck. Some people go as far as to use overdraft protection when it comes to using their financial institution to front them money. If you're not familiar when it comes to overdraft protection, some financial institutions have this feature in place to help their members or help their clients, but this comes at a fee, which is basically you're going in debt and having to dig yourself out of debt even more. It is not beneficial if you're already in debt. Step 1, figure out what your income is. If that means your main job, your side hustle, your side gig, any money that's coming in, make sure you have a kind of a quantifiable way to understand how much that is monthly. Some people do weekly and get paid weekly. Some people do every 2 weeks, but generally speaking, just do how much you get a month. So for me, I see how much I get per paycheck since I do work a full-time job, and I add that to a monthly balance, and that's where I use to kind of redact my expenses and know where to allocate everything. Use my full-time job to pay for my bills, my retirement, and any emergency funds as well. Side hustles, I am a Medicare specialist, so I do help people with their retirement, and I use that money for other things as well. This allows me to have more flexibility when it comes to putting money away for retirement as well as saving too. I do Medicare because I really enjoy it. I feel like we're helping people retire and we reached your retirement goals when it comes more so to the health side of things is very important. Now, you need to understand what your expenses are. What are those bills? If it's gas, electric, rent, mortgage, whatever, understand what it is exactly and put them into categories. A lot of times people have many different subscriptions that they don't even know about. So understand what those subscriptions are and putting them either on a spreadsheet, Excel sheet, or just simply writing them down and putting them as part of your subscription balance. Include in there your groceries, average entertainment. Because you're working, you should be able to spend some. I'm not a big fan of not spending what you earn. It leads to bad practices and you feeling resentful for saving. Choose a tracking method. For me, I like to keep it simple. I do use a spreadsheet, but generally speaking, for my more miscellaneous things, I do put it with my planner. I use a regular planner, and this allows me to kind of keep up with things day to day. One con to this is that you have to be a lot more meticulous in updating things. Whatever works for you, but make sure you stay consistent doing it. If you're more of a hands-on person, use hands-on things like a planner, a calendar, a checkbook, etc. If you're more of a technology-based person, use technology. Find the software, use Excel, do something that works for you and that fits your needs. This is your money after all. A common apps that people use for those who are a little bit more techie is like the Minute app. Common apps that people use is the Minute app, their financial institution's banking app, the YNAB app, etc. Step 3 may seem basic, but this is a budgeting 101 YouTube video. But it's very important for you to get a checking and savings. I know you're laughing. A checking and savings, I heard that in elementary school or grade school. Well, yes. I have met some people who do not have a checking and savings, and it does limit how much you can do in certain ways. I do understand that a lot of people have their reservation, but use the resources that the banking system offers. Myself, I do have 3 accounts. One is used for where my bills come out. Another is used as a reserve. Another is used as a reserve for my upcoming expenses. And the third is used for my emergency. I'm one of those people that if I see money, I'm going to spend it. So I move money as much as possible, or I have to make the conscious decision to transfer it back to wherever I need it for. And that's just another level of protection on myself and self-control. But like again, I said, do what works best for you. I do just recommend trying to have at least a checking and a savings. You want to use cash for everything. I'm not saying not to use cash, but what I am saying is choosing when to use it. Using those cash-based transactions for a more so personal need. Make sure you categorize your funds, like I said previously. If that means fun, leisure, gas, transportation, food, X, Y, and Z. As long as you categorize it, it makes sense, it goes on the system that you can keep up with, that's all that matters. 4. Clear out all debt. Debt is literally interest working against you. I'm fine with interest. The interest that gives me dividends in my pocket. Debt is a crippler, but it could also be a wealth builder. For example, a mortgage. Depending on the amount and depending on how much the value of the home is, that's an asset and not a liability. There are a bunch of different types of techniques to help get rid of debt. The most common two are the avalanche method, the snowball method. Either one works and achieve the same goal at the end of the day, but it's all about what you feel is best for you. The avalanche method starts off with paying off your highest interest accumulating debt. Because remember, interest compounds, which means it gets more expensive the longer you wait. The snowball method means paying for the smaller sums of debt until you get to the bigger one. Either one works. It is a little bit more advantageous to do the avalanche method because interest does compound. Step 5. You need to set a savings goal. It means it should be broken down to emergency funds, paying off debt, vacation, investing, are just some of the savings goals that you can set for yourself. It's imperative to have a savings goal, and it's recommended that you have enough at least to cover expenses for 6 months. Paying off debt. Paying off debt allows you to free up some of your finances and put towards paying yourself. A vacation. It's your money. Enjoy it. You only get to live once. And lastly is investing. Investing is very important because that is how you're paying yourself. A rule of thumb to have when it comes to saving is using the 50-30-20 rule. 50% towards bills and expenses, 30% towards leisure, and 20% towards savings. Everybody's financial situation is different, but it is a good rule of thumb when it comes to saving and investing. Now we're on to step 6, automate. It's important to automate your bills as much as possible and use that checking and savings that you have. Review weekly and monthly. Pay off bills as well as automate the growth of your emergency fund. Common mistakes to avoid: forgetting small expenses, not saving regularly, because why aren't you paying yourself, and being too strict. This is a good time for you to reflect and see what your expenses are and know where your money's going. You should look at your bank account every day, or at least every other day, to see what's happening with it. Well, this is the end to this video, and thank you for tuning into my first ever YouTube video. Like and comment as well. I would like you to tell me what's one expense you're cutting back this month. Thank you. See you later.